Morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. And my name is Bisola F. Boran. I'm the communications manager at United Capital Group. And it is my pleasure to be the host of this very special occasion today. Um, on behalf of United Capital Group, I would like to welcome everyone who has taken the time out to come today. We understand that it's a Monday. Mondays are very hectic and a lot of traffic, so we do appreciate that you're all here and also in a timely manner. And we are very happy that you're here to celebrate with us, as this is truly a monumental milestone for United Capital, the official launch of the United Capital Children Investment Fund. So before we get into everything else, I would like to just acknowledge some people who are in the room today who have actually taken their time out to attend our event today. We have members of the executive management team of United Capital Group. First, we have the group CEO, Mr. Peter Ashade. Just wave. We also have the group COO and Executive Director, Mr. Ayodeji Adigum. Thank you. We have Dr. Leo Okafo, who is the company's Secretary and General Counsel. We have the Director of Retail, and this is Mr. Antoniola. Thank you. We also have our MDs in the room with us today. We'll start with the host of today, the person who we are here for, the MD, CEO of United Capital Asset Management, Dr. Odiri Ogini. We have the MD of our wealth management business, Madam Detola Fasuyi. We also have the MD of our investment banking business, Dr. Gbadebo Adenrele. The MD of United Capital Trustees, Mr. Michael Abiodun Thomas. We also have the MD of our new microfinance bank, UC Microfinance Bank, Mrs. Esther Adiola Balogun. Also, somewhere at the back, we have the Director of Resources, Mr. Sheye Komolafe. Please just wave. Thank you very much. We also have other members of the management team of United Capital. In addition to those, we are very happy to see our colleagues from Hez Holdings. We have Mr. Osa Imasoji from A1 Healthcare. Thank you very much. We also have Mr. Sam Owanze. He's also on the board of United Capital. So thank you very much for coming. On the fund management team and the committee, we have the trustee from Emerging Africa, the MD of Emerging Africa Trustees, Ms. Felicia Shonubi. Thank you very much. And along the way, we will keep recognizing anyone else who attends, who comes in afterwards. Okay, so now to why we're here. I just want to throw a question into the room. How many of us here are parents? You can just wave a little bit. Okay. How many of us here are uncles and aunties? We have nieces, nephews that we care very deeply about. If you're parents, you're guardians, you can just wave. So if everyone who waved, you are definitely in the right room because that's why we are here. We're here to launch something that's very important. It's not just any other product launch. What we are doing here is monumental. You hear every day that children are the future of tomorrow. And what we at United Capital are doing is ensuring that that future we speak of is indeed secured, that they can actually become what we want them to become. At United Capital, we believe that every child deserves a solid financial foundation to dream, to grow, and to thrive. So this isn't just another product launch. It is not just about innovation. It's about intention to build, to include, and to impact generations to come. So thank you all for being here. So this morning, the agenda is very simple. Like I said, I understand that it's a Monday and everybody has things to do, so we'll keep it very short. Over the next 90 minutes, you will hear from key leaders who have been instrumental to bringing this fund to life. We have our group CEO, Mr. Peter Ashade, and the MD of United Capital Asset Management, Dr. Odiri. You will learn about the strategy, the inspiration and the structure behind this new fund. And most importantly, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, what is this fund about and why does it matter? These are all things we're going to learn today. After this, we'll have a formal signing ceremony, right? So that's going to be kicking off the official launch of the product. And afterwards, there'll be a Q&A segment with the media to answer all the burning questions. So now, to officially kick off the event, it is my pleasure to invite the Group CEO of United Capital PLC, Mr. Peter Shade. Please join me in welcoming him to the stage. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Bisola. Good morning, everyone. So excited to be here today as we celebrate a truly Africa-leading financial services group. When Bisola was trying to introduce the key management team, and you could just imagine how we've emerged in the last 5 years and still counting from 4 to 8 now, and still counting. It's quite interesting and exciting. And one thing that is key, our driving force has been to be a solution point. Each of our businesses are centered around solution at different points of need, either institution, individual, government, either as a subnational or the national, corporate, and that is how we have sectored ourselves to ensure that continually, innovatively, we continue to bring out, solution to each of these segments of the market that we have chosen to play. Without much ado, my activity here is to welcome everyone as we commence this epoch-making event, and permit me to, with great pride and profound purpose, that I welcome each and every one of us to this historic moment as we celebrate the journey of United Capital. This is another milestone, By the time we put all milestones together, it makes a whole lot of difference. It's a moment to demonstrate our capacity for innovation and our enduring legacy for impact. But before I proceed into this welcome address, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our distinguished guests present here in our midst today. First, let me acknowledge the United Capital Asset Management Limited Investment Committee members and trustees that are here, even though Bisola has done in that, but it's expedient that I still recognize them, because the result you see here today is the workings of this committee. By the way, the Asset Management Limited, subsidiary of United Capital Group, is such that he has his own board, he has his own investment committee members, and which meet from time to time to access each of the products and the progresses and that. It might interest you to note that some couple of 3 years ago, we had only 7 products on our bouquet. But as we speak today, this product launches the 11th product for United Capital Asset Management. I think they deserve a round of applause. Again, we recognize the representative of Security and Exchange Commission here present, the executive and senior members of staff of United Capital, and other members that are graciously here this morning. Our colleague from the Hears Holdings Group, corporate and professional bodies here present, all the key parties to these products that are here, financiers, members of the press, and other eminent guests. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for joining us as we gather here on this great occasion Your presence adds a special warmth to our gathering and makes it events more memorable. Today's gathering is a reflection of our continuous commitment as a group to provide innovative, relevant, and sustainable financial solutions that respond to the evolving needs of our clients and supporting our national development aspiration. Today, we do not merely launch a financial product. We unveil a vision for the future of our children, for the prosperity of Nigerian families, and for the economic destiny of our nation. At United Capital Group, we are driven by a clear, consistent mandate to enable individuals, families, institutions, and government build, manage, and transfer wealth across generations. It might interest you to note that every initiative we champion, every product we introduce is designed to fulfill a purpose. This is where today's launch holds a special meaning for us all, the Children Investment Fund. This is the latest addition to our portfolio, and I said earlier, gradually, just last year we launched the 10th, and today we are launching the 11th mutual fund in our collective investment scheme structure. I can assure you expect more before the end of this year. It is a purposeful step towards shaping the financial future of the next generation. We believe that every Nigerian child deserves a head start. They deserve a structured, deliberate, and empowered financial foundation that prepares them not just for today, but for life, but for leadership, opportunity, and also legacy. As Africa's foremost financial services group, we are proud of our legacy. Our journey of transformation, growth, and track record of excellence is evident. We are set to benchmark that continue to redefine the possibility in Nigeria's financial services industry. We are determined to keep introducing innovative offerings that will improve the lives of Nigerians, both old and young. Over the last 3 years, we have launched 5 products, innovative products within the Nigerian capital market, increasing it from 7 to 11. Within the same period, we have worked assiduously to improve the financial health of well-meaning Nigerians, and these have led us to grow our mutual fund asset by over 200%. Now more than 650 billion in 3 years. Today, United Capital Asset Management stands proudly as the second largest collective investment scheme manager in Nigeria, the largest fixed income manager in Nigeria, and the second largest provider of dollar-denominated mutual fund in Nigeria. I think they deserve a round of applause for that. All these are testament to the hard work, dedication, innovativeness that defines our team. These achievements are not accidental. They are the result of culture of excellence that we uphold across all our businesses. From the investment banking to wealth management, security trading, trusteeship, and asset management. And finally, the new baby in the block, the consumer finance business. Excellence is not just a value for us. It is a way of life, and it is not negotiable for us. Children Investment Fund is a continuation of legacy of excellence. It is a deliberate response to the need to increase the retail participation in the capital market and promote early financial literacy. These are critical pillars in Nigeria's journey towards a $1 trillion dollar economy. The Children Investment Fund is designed to offer families a simple yet powerful vehicle for long-term financial planning, whether it is savings for education, health care, or seed capital for child-first business venture. This fund is about preparing the next generation today to strive and lead them in the world that rewards early planning and smart choices. We are laying the foundation, financial foundation for the next generation of Nigeria innovators, entrepreneurs, and world changers. With this fund, we are saying to families, it is never too early to start planning. We are here saying to children, your future deserves to be financially secure from the onset. And we are saying to Nigerians, United Capital is committed to building a nation where prosperity is accessible, democratized, inclusive, and generational. Thank you for being part of this milestone. We are happy to have you. Together, we can invest in the future of our children, one child at a time. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Mr. Peter Shade. Next up, we have the MD of United Capital Asset Management, Dr. Odiri Ogini. She's going to give us a short presentation on the United Capital Children Investment Fund. I'm sure a lot of us here are wondering, what is this fund about? Why is it different from, the other ones you've probably seen? And she's here to make her case. Join me in welcoming Dr. Odiri to the stage. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. You're not excited as I am. Good morning, everyone. And thank you for being a part of this monumental event, really. When we look back to how the idea started, and today we are celebrating the launch, for me, I'm excited and I'm happy. So thank you very much for being here. It's a Monday morning, we all know, and so we'll try as much as possible to keep to time. Please, can I have your remote? All right, my job is very simple here, and the focus is to take us behind the scene into what the fund is about, the structure of the fund, and as fund managers, what we intend to do, and how we intend to manage the fund. All right, so there is this research that was done about a few weeks ago, by Carrie Wise, looking into the cost of educating a child in Nigeria. And the finding is really very interesting. And what it says is that it will cost between 31.4 million to about 65.5 million to give a child quality education in Nigeria today. So if you're looking at if you're looking at a private school education, you have about 65 to 5 million. If you're looking at a public or federal university, we are looking at about 31.4 million. And you can all agree with me that this is a very significant amount of money. Even though the fund is not limited to education, but education is one of the biggest costs that as parents we tend to bear. I have 3 kids. The first is to attend, getting university this year, by September, by God's grace. And then my last born is also entering secondary school this year. So I think sometime around last year, I decided to do a calculation of what it would cost, if they were to school in Nigeria, or this one is not even abroad education. And I can tell you to a fact that this amount of money is quite realistic. Because even when I looked at for the 3 of them, it was almost averaging this amount per child. So this is a significant amount. And most times when we look at research, a lot of the findings that we bring are outside the country, maybe global market, and we try to adapt it. This is a Nigerian-owned and made in Nigeria research, that shows to a large extent that it is quite expensive, to educate a child in Nigeria today. And so what's the focus for us in United Capital? The question for us is really, how do we help parents to be more intentional and to be systematic, in planning the financial needs of their children or their wards? And so the idea for the United Capital Children Investment Fund was born. And we are not saying that parents don't save for their children. That's not what we are saying. The two key words here are intentional and systematic. And that's what we are trying to bring to the market today. How can we help parents, the average Nigerian, to be more intentional when they are planning for their children's education or they are planning for their children's financial needs, whether it's healthcare, or seed funding? How can they do that in an intentional way and also to be more systematic? If I share a personal story, in my early years, when then they used to pay us upfront in January, and the way the stock market rallies in January and things like that. So I decided to put some of those monies in the stock market, so that by April, when it's time to pay the children's school fees, other things, I would have cashed out. And I can tell you that majority of the time, I always cash out less than what I put in the market. And so the focus here is that we invest in a lot of things. There are a lot of vehicles, products that we invest in. Sometimes people say, oh, I have a money market fund that I used to save for my children. That fund, you put a lot of things. So the next time you need money for something, you can draw out from that fund. But what the Children Investment Fund does in being intentional and fit for purpose is that the money is for the children's stuff. The day you decide to take away from it for any other thing other than the children, you will feel guilty. And that's the truth. That's what we want you to do. To feel guilty that this money is fit for purpose for a child's business and financial need. And if I have to take out of it for any other purpose, your conscience will judge you. You will feel guilty. You will feel bad for yourself. You may still do it though, but you will feel bad. And so it is really what the idea of the Children Investment Fund is. A fit for purpose fund to empower the average Nigerian, the parent, the guardian, to be more intentional and to plan systematically for the financial needs of their child. So let's look into, what is this fund about? What are we going to be investing in? So the United Capital Children Investment Fund is an actively managed Naira-denominated fund. And the focus is really to ensure that, you have capital appreciation, capital growth of your money over time. And we invest in a diversified portfolio of equities, fixed income, and money market instruments. A lot of the time when we talk about investing, people are always worried about inflation. So when they look at the return, they say, with this return at the end of the day, outperform inflation. And so we've taken that into consideration in looking at what we invest in at the end of the day for the fund to ensure that it outperforms inflation over the years and also provides target return, for investors. Next slide. So the structure of the fund invests in three main asset classes. Money markets. We know money market instruments, treasury bills, commercial paper, fixed deposit. And the goal is to provide liquidity. Because the nature of this fund is, yes, there is a minimum or average holding period where we expect that, you don't come in and dip. But whenever you need your money, you can have access to it. So we want to also ensure that the fund is able to provide liquidity at any point in time. Equities, the fund also invests in equities. Equities provides capital appreciation, provides capital growth. But majority of the time when we talk about equities, a lot of people are afraid. The risk, the volatility, but the truth is, research has shown that equities tend to outperform over a longer period of time. And because this is a long-term fund, and a fund that we also want to outperform inflation, we cannot but not invest in equities, even though it is to a measured amount. And then we have fixed income securities to provide stability to the fund. So investing in government securities to provide stability and also cash flow for the fund. Now, why is this different from every other investment or saving products that we're having today? So we've listed areas of differentiation. Number one is this is fit for purpose fund. And this is really very important for us. And what we want parents or to be mindful of is for a certain purpose. And while we invest in different asset classes, we don't always forget that this is basically a comprehensive financial planning to make provision for the financial needs of children. And then also the investment approach is also different from some of the investment products you see in the market, the savings account, you deposit money with interest rate. What it means is that you limit the level of growth that you can have in the portfolio, because particularly in 3 moments, and at the underlying reason for that is to ensure that capital growth, at the end of the day, you have liquidity and also you have stability. In terms of return potential, is also different from the other available products in the market, because this is designed to provide high long-term return for the investors of the fund. Outlook is also very important for us. So while other products limit the extent of this particular fund is when it continues to grow over long-term planning, so there is a minimum amount to it, but as little as 1,000 in addition, you can increase the amount you have invested in the fund against inflation. One of the interesting things about the research report, that I spoke earlier, is the fact that, even though it cost about 65.5 million naira, over a period of time from crèche to university level for a child, your consistent saving means that about 30% of that amount of money needed for the child education can come from capital growth and the return potential of the fund. And then the last is financial literacy opportunity. One of the things that we will be doing going forward for this fund is to organize financial literacy session for our children. So parents who are invested in the fund, can have the opportunity of us being to train, their children and provide insight around financial literacy opportunities. So what are the key investment considerations? We've talked about it. Number one is diversification. The fund is designed to be diversified, such that at the end of the day, we're not putting all our eggs in one basket. And as a fund manager, we are very big on diversification. Diversification also helps to reduce risk. So we can say that this product is designed to provide minimal risk to investors in the fund. It's also accessible. The mutual fund structure allows you to come in and go out at any given point in time. I've talked about the fact that the fund is designed also to provide liquidity. So parents can also give instruction, to us to say, okay, I'm investing in this fund, but I want at a certain point in time that this fund is able to pay my children's school fees or pay for this health bill or pay for this particular transaction as it relates to the child, and we can help them to do that for them. Also, capital appreciation, and lastly, I spoke about the minimal risk or moderate risk element of the fund. Now, just looking at some of the key investment summary of this particular fund, what are the key highlights that we also want to share before I conclude? The first is this fund has a minimum amount of 5 million. However, we are encouraging parents and guardians to start with 1 million in tranches, and build up, their capacity for this fund. The minimum holding period for this fund is 365 days. It's an open-ended fund. And one of the reasons why we have 365 days is because, like I said earlier, this is a long-term fund. It's not I put my money there today and tomorrow I want to cash out. Don't forget that you're investing towards a specific purpose. So the 1 year is designed to ensure that, we have opportunity from the fund to be able to grow. Investment objective is to provide unit holders with long-term capital appreciation, steady income through a diversified portfolio. So who are we targeting? Who are the target investors for this fund? Everyone, Bisola asks us, those of us who are parents, and some of us raised up our hands. But you also have nieces, nephews, you have people who are under you that you look up to. The goal is this is a comprehensive financial planning tool that you can use to begin to prepare, whether it's a child that is from your own bowels or children around you, to set them straight, for life when it comes to their financial needs. United Capital Asset Management is the fund manager, and one of the things about this fund that it is designed to pay dividend on an annual basis. And so what that means is that you can decide to take out that dividend payment on an annual basis, or you can recapitalize it. In other words, you add it to what you already have in the fund, and that gives you a much opportunity to compound your return. Next slide. And so minimum subscription, I've spoken to that, minimum holding period 1 year. The benchmark of this fund, this is the nature of a mutual fund means that you don't have a fixed rate for this. What you basically have at best. This fund has been slated to open on Wednesday, the 28th of May, a day after Children's Day. And so what that means is that you can log onto our website, www.unitedinvestnow.ng, our investment platform, and begin subscribing to the fund, or you can make direct transfer to the account details there. We also have some of the parties to the fund, which I want to appreciate for their efforts in bringing this fund to life. We have the trustee to the fund, United Emerging Africa Trustee Limited. We have the custodian to the fund, which is Stanbic IBTC Bank. The solicitor to the fund, Udo Udoma and Bello Osage. We also have Deloitte as the auditor to the fund. Because you can see that we have carefully selected the best in the market to work with us to bring this to life. So let me conclude by saying that the United Capital Children Investment Fund is the first in the market in this category. And what this does, it speaks to the focus at United Capital, which is that we want to use the innovative mutual fund structure to be able to create products that speak to specific financial needs of the average Nigerian investor. At the end of the day, the goal is for us to be able to elevate their financial well-being. And we need the support of everyone in carrying this out. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much. Can we give another round of applause, please? Okay. I'm sure after the presentation, I can already see a lot of people taking notes. I'm sure you have a lot of questions. Do not be worried. We have a segment afterwards where all your questions can be answered. Next on the agenda is the signing ceremony. We have all the parties on the transaction here, and we'd like to begin that soon. Are we ready for that? Okay, in the meantime, while that is being set up, at the beginning when we were giving the acknowledgements, a few people weren't here, so can we just welcome Catherine Umosu, the MD of Africa Prudential. She's here. Please give her a round of applause. She's also the registrar on this transaction, so she's here. Please give her a round of applause. We also have the representatives from our solicitors, from Udo Udoma, Bello Osage. Do you want to say hi? Lisa Esama. Thank you. And do we have the representative from Stanbic IBTC, Babatunde Maiyagbe? Is in the room with us. Oh, hello. All right, thank you very much. In a few minutes, we will begin the signing ceremony. All right, so the parties that will be invited to begin are the signatories, the Group CEO of United Capital Group, Mr. Peter Ashade, the MD of United Capital Asset Management, Dr. Odiri Ogini, the Company Secretary, Dr. Leo Okafor, we also have the fund manager, Mr. Philip Odunaka, and then the trustees from Emerging Africa, Felicia Shonubi. Please come on stage. I've just been informed that our partners from Deloitte are here. Please, would you wave where you are? Okay, so I'm going to take the names again. So the parties on the transaction from the United Capital team, we have the company secretary, Dr. Leo Kafo, the principal officers of the fund manager, Odiri Ogini, managing director, United Capital Asset Management, and Philip Undunaka, the head of portfolio management. We also have the members of the fund's investment advisory committee, Frank Chikezie, the independent member and chairman, investment advisory committee. We have Sonia Nene, who is not here today, but is also on the fund. We have Samuel Owanze, who is here with us today. He's a representative of the fund manager. Thank you very much. We have Felicia Shonobu, who is a representative of the trustee. Other professional parties to the offer. We have the custodian to the fund, Stanbic IBC Bank Limited. We have solicitors to the issue from Udo Odoma and Bello Osage. We also have the registrars from African Prudential. Madam Catherine Wosu, please come to the stage. Thank you. We also have our auditors from Deloitte. These are all the parties to the transaction. Can we give them a round of applause, please? Everyone we're looking at on the stage right now played an instrumental part in bringing this fund to life. Okay. All right. So it's time for us to sign. Okay, have all the parties signed? Okay. Do we have a representative from the custodians at Stanbic? And Deloitte? Okay, we're all done. Thank you, everyone. A round of applause again for all the parties on stage. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. So now we've come to the part of the session that is for Q&A. We have the members of the press. They've been here all morning. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you for paying attention. And I'm sure you have a lot of questions to ask. So we would have the Group CEO of United Capital PLC, Mr. Peter Shade. He's going to take the floor, as well as the MD of United Capital Asset Management, Dr. Odiri Ogini. They will be seated here to take all your questions. So let's just give a second for the setup to be completed. So when asking your questions, please identify yourselves just by raising your hands. Introduce yourself, your name, the company you work for, and then you can go ahead with your question, and then we would respond. Okay, in the meantime, while the setup is going on, can we do a show of hands if you have any questions? Show of hands, please. Members of the press. All right. Okay. So first, let's welcome the Group CEO of United Capital Group, Mr. Peter Shade, to the stage. Round of applause, please. And then Dr. Odiri Ogini, MD, United Capital Asset Management. We'll also include the fund manager, Philip Ndunaka, to the stage. Please give me a round of applause. All right. Now that you're seated, I'm sure you have your budding questions. So would you like to indicate if you have a question for them, please? Okay, thank you very much. I'll just come over to you. Okay, please state your name and...
Okay, my name is Bamdele Ogunwusi. I work with Daily Independent Newspapers. In your presentation, you didn't tell us the return on investment. We want to know the percentage or what is in it for people who are also interested in it.
All right. Good afternoon once again. Oh, sorry, good morning once again. I'm eager for the day to end. All right, so thank you very much for that question. And I think that question is at the forefront of every investor's mind to say if I need to start saving for my children, what is in it for me? The way the fund is designed to maximize return, from the equities markets, from the fixed income market, as well as from the money market instrument that the fund will be returning. I also shared in my presentation that there is a benchmark that the fund manager must strive to ensure that they beat at any given point in time. So if I were to use the benchmark, as of today. Okay. Sorry, can you hear me now? So based on the benchmark, if I were to rely on the benchmark today, I would say the return that the fund can deliver as of today should be nothing less than 19% on the average. And the goal is to take advantage of the opportunities in the equities market, also in the fixed income market. Today, a 3-year bond is hovering around 19-20%. And then you have Treasury bill, which is money market, that the fund will be investing also hovering around 19-20%. So to directly answer your question, investors should not expect anything less than 90% on the average, and it could be higher. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That instead of putting 5 million as minimum, why can't I go into real estate? Buy land, build a house, then rent it out, then the investment on that, instead of looking at 19%. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Maybe I should have put real estate as part of the option competing with this product. So thank you very much for that question. And so the minimum investment period is 365 days. So it doesn't mean that after 365 days, you have to roll it over. No. The nature of a mutual fund is that it will continue, to continue to run. So the reason why you have a minimum holding period is such that, people don't come in today and go out tomorrow. So what the minimum holding period does for you is to say, I cannot withdraw this more. I'm locked in for this, at least first 1 year, But if I need to pull out, within this first 1 year, there's a penal charge on your interest, But it doesn't mean that, after 365, you can come and take it and then go and keep it somewhere. No, it's a perpetuity fund. It's a long-term fund. So after 365 days, it continues to run. Now, the 19% is not a guaranteed rate. It's not a fixed rate. It could be much better than that. It could be slightly lower than that. So after 1 year, you're not looking for another 19%. The fund manager will work with the investment asset classes to ensure that they deliver, optimal return based on the benchmark. But the good thing about the fund is that if after 1 year we are paying you your dividend, you can decide to reinvest the dividend in the fund. That way you are compounding your return at the end of the day. The second thing is, why don't I invest in real estate rather than putting the money there? First of all, you know that this is a very liquid fund, and the money is easily accessible. If you buy a property today, let's assume you get a property for 5 million, and then in a month's time or few months' time or a year time, you need to pay your child's school fees, and you put that VAT in papers trying to sell that land. You may not sell that land immediately. So real estate is not as liquid as a children investment fund. So it's not advisable for you to be the sole investment option where you are banking on for your child's financial needs. You can diversify into that. Children investment fund can be one of your options, but I can tell you that real estate is not liquid as a children investment fund, to meet your child's financial needs. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope that answered your question, sir. Okay, so we have another person over there.
Omobolanle Adeshi from Arise News. So I'd like to know what's the age range and what makes this different from the piggy bank investment? And also, does it get adjusted as the child gets older? What's the interest rate? Does it get better or does it increase as the child gets older?
Okay, thank you for the question. Hear me, please. Thank you for the question. So the idea behind this is for children from every age range. So when you invest for your child, so it's obvious that as you are investing, the child is growing, the age is growing, and the fund too is growing. So it doesn't matter the age. It's just for all ages. You can invest for a 2-year child, a newborn baby, a 10-year-old baby. So as you invest for your child, the idea is in your minds of minds, you are keeping the fund long term for the child, for the educational purposes or for health purposes. But the idea behind it is you are keeping the fund with the onus that it's for the child, whether today or in subsequent years' time. Does that answer your question, please?
Sorry.
Yes.
Yes, but if I may just punctuate some key features of the product and that we need to take home from here. The product is not only for education. That is why we did not christen it Children Education Fund. It's Children Investment Fund. You could have any intention for your child, any whatsoever. You could want to save a seed. Maybe you have a child that he wants to be a musician, or you have that want to go into entertainment, want to go into business, and you feel, let me start thinking, I want to encourage him. That is investment. So it's not only about the education, it could be health. It could be health. So it could be, and so, but that is why it's not like any other fund. It is a specialized fund that takes care of every need of a child. You can just imagine. It is just for you to conceive the idea, then you have a platform to achieve it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have some questions from our online attendees. And this question is for the group CEO, sir. This person wants to know, how does this fund align with the United Capital's broader vision for generational wealth and financial inclusion?
Totally, it aligns with our vision. So for us, we believe in impact of private sector and how it can redefine Africa. And when you look at across Africa, and that is why we are the current continent that is making that in terms of GDP growth across Africa. We have across the world. We have the best in Africa. And again, when you look at the segmentation of the population within Africa, we have more of youths. And within the youth confine, we have more of children too. So the question is that if our intent is about Africa, is about growth, is about youth, and we are developing a product, forget whether we put children. For parents that are here, even when your child is getting married, he's still a child. Regardless of his age, he's still a child as far as you're concerned. Other people might see him or her as a man, and that is why the way you talk to him or her is different from the way anybody will talk to. So where we stand, it is still about, because at the point in time we're discussing, should we use youth investment fund or something like that? But we want to have a catchy, name for it that will really address the mind and hence the children, but totally aligns with our vision to really impact on the youth, sector and the segment of our population, both in Nigeria. And I can assure you, this product will not only be a Nigerian-based product. We are going to ask you where we're in Ghana, we're in Cote d'Ivoire, and we're still prospecting, wait and see in a couple of months to come. So we will, because it's, again, as we move to Africa country, we'll talk about it, we'll drive it there because it is about Africa youth. It's about, their parents being intentional, supporting them across the line. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Very well said. So the person who asked the question online, I hope that answers your question succinctly. So we have some questions.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Helen Oji is my name, the Guardian newspaper. I don't know whether you've answered my question, but what I intended asking is how you intend to drive the adoption of this fund. And I want to understand what makes this fund different from other funds that is targeted at children. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 2.
All right, thank you very much for that question. So the first is, how do we intend to drive adoption? As part of our plan, at least from tomorrow, one of the things we want to do is to engage the media. Tomorrow is Children's Day, so it's a good time to get the attention of parents, with regards to the needs of their children, and in this case, with regards to the financial needs of your children. Another thing for us that we intend to do is to go around schools, and partner with schools, particularly with their PTA, their association, to see how we can push these products in partnership with school. And because this is a fit for purpose, it is specific to a particular target, it's easier, to encourage schools, encourage parents to begin to sign on and invest in the fund. The second question...
What makes it different from
What makes it different from every other fund? This is the first fund, mutual fund, that speaks to the needs of children, the financial needs of children in the market today. What you probably have in the market today are savings products. So you have banks creating savings products for children, targeted at children. You have maybe insurance product targeted at children. You have maybe some other product from maybe savings product targeted at children. But this is the first fund designed for children that invest in capital market products. So like I shared earlier in my presentation, it is not just a fixed deposit that you're investing in. You're investing in a mix of equities, fixed income, and money market. And so it's a product that is designed to invest primarily in the capital market. And because we are trying to encourage more retail adoption, we're also trying to encourage our children to be financially literate. We believe that this is completely different from what is obtainable in the market today. I hope that addresses your question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Odiri. Any other questions in the room?
Thank
Okay,
you
let's
very
take the
much.
lady in front. Okay.
My name is Sihai. I arrived for Business Day. You are optimistic that the return will beat inflation over time, being a long-term investment. And I didn't hear you tell us, the place of FS risk in case I have, take for instance, I have my 5 million with you, and we've seen that what is happening in the FS market, that the tendency that it may go up or down. So what if I have my 5 million with you and I want to have that fund after 2 years, and I see that despite the compounded, returns on investment, I may have less value. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Odiri again. Would you like to take that?
All right. Okay. So, okay. Man.
So, in addressing your question, the key take home is you want to invest in the fund, right? And in your minds of mind, this speaks to asset allocation. The fund has been, designed in such a way that equities, the maximum exposure is 35, money market 30, 35, then fixed income 30. So in that regard, you could see that the fund is targeted towards, hedging against inflation, because the equities have been known to beat inflation. And also, we also align to liquidity purposes by investing in money market funds. So it's a mix. So our target is to ensure that both returns and liquidity are addressed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me just add on the FX risk.
Okay, sorry.
So this is a Naira denominated
Thank
product.
you.
So what that means is that we are not taking currency risk. We are not exposing the fund to any currency risk. But what I hear you saying is you probably have an obligation that invests in foreign currency, and or maybe a child needs that involves foreign currency, and probably maybe in 2 years' time, you're thinking, I want to liquidate this investment, convert to that currency, and pay for that need. One of the things that I would advise is, the reason why we're investing in equities is so that we can capture not just inflation, but also capital growth and capital appreciation. And we believe to a large extent, based on the direction that we see and the outlook of the market, that I think the currency will stabilize at some point in time. And so even if there's some exposure or plus or minus, I'm not sure it will completely erode the value, over that period of time, to a large extent. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have a question online, so let's take that before we go back into the room. This is a question for the group CEO. The person says, as the group CEO noted in his speech, United Capital Asset Management has recorded impressive growth from 39 billion in AUM in 2019 to over 1 trillion naira in 2024. What has been the key drivers of this growth, and how do you plan to sustain this going forward?
Thank you so much. It's quite interesting when you go back, not only that we've grown from 39 to over 1 trillion. And I think as we speak now, we are like almost 1.4 trillion. We are 1.4 trillion now. It might interest you to note that when we had 39, we are number 13. Our asset management business was 13 in terms of the number of asset management we have in Nigeria. We're 13. And today, we're number 2. And we have kept number 2 since 2014.
That deserves a bigger round of applause.
So, again, what underscore that? Number one, I'll talk about our people. very innovative, resilience team that we have. Yes, a lot happened within that space. One of it is development of new products. We said we moved from 7 to 11. That added to it. Number 2, we changed our structure, our model, even including the organogram of the business to really focus on where we want the value to come from. So we were intentional that we want to make a difference. We look at the sector of the market, the segment of the market. As we speak now, as at a certain time, we had only 1 Eurobond in dollars. Now we have 2. So we were intentional about that. We took some critical decision that aided this growth. And for us, it's just a journey that is just beginning. A lot is still in the works. And innovatively, we want to expect that number 2 is not our number. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Like the group CEO said, number 2 is not number. So we are gunning for number 1 in a very few months, hopefully. Thank you, sir. Okay, let's go back into the room. Do you have any more questions? Yeah. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Good morning, all. I am Bonnie Amadi. I write for West Africa Business News. So, what is the unit price of this fund? And then, how did you arrive at the price, considering that's a unique new product? And again, what is the maximum? What's the number of units that make up to that 5 million investable fund? And then, will you give retail investors the opportunity to buy this fund, preferably from the secondary market? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Unit price is 1, and the number of units required is 5 million. That's the minimum investment you could use to, subscribe to this fund. Thank you.
Or do you want?
Just the second part of the question, buying from secondary market. One of the things that we want to do, you're already talking to the NGX, is to list the fund on the NGX. So that gives opportunity to buy from the secondary market, as you have rightly asked. So yes, there will be that opportunity, particularly for stockbrokers to be able to also help to market that to their clientele base. So thank you very much for that question.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have a question. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Good morning. My name is Udume Festus. I work with Financial Edge. And let me commend Mr. Peter Ashade and the team for this innovation, at least thinking about our leaders of tomorrow in terms of investment. I just have a bit small concern. Doctor talked about the targeted market and how they want to go about marketing the products. I just want to ask that the amounts, because I was listening to when Bonnie was raising his question, they are the 5 million, and you're talking about retail, and considering our current economic reality, is it not too much, or is there different segments of a market that you are really targeting? Then my last question is concerning parents. I want Dr. and Mr. Peter to give us the unique selling point that we are going to tell parents that will dissuade them from buying from main markets in terms of investing for their children in other companies, and how we are going to encourage them to go for this CIS, collective investment scheme, because you have all the basket of what the parent wants to go individually in this segment. So give us the unique selling point, the message we're supposed to have for parents, since you are managing this product. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Can the group CEO, would you like to take a part of that, sir?
The unique, so in terms of, so you talked about the segment of the market and where we're focusing that, yes, this ought to be retail. Yes, in terms of product development and coming up with these initiatives, we identified the segment of the market, and that was why, you see, when the CEO Dr. Odiri presented, even though he said 5 million, said we can do in tranches of 1 million. So over time. So we try to break it down because it's a specialized product. It's not just like, within the basket of our product, a collective investment scheme, we have money market, which is a single thing. We have equity. We have what's called bond. We have Euro bond. All these are single. But this is a specialized product. And from the regulatory point of view, there is a way it must be structured. And that is it. So these are taken into consideration the regulatory requirement for us. However, so what we're trying to do is, because we are retail focused, we're saying that, yes, even though it's a unit of 5, well, we can eliminate it into 1 million. And I want to believe that at least bringing that, it will enable us to come lower. That, I think, I want to hope we address that. But we're still in conversation with the regulator to see if there are things we could do in terms of trying to even bring it low. But then we must obey regulation first, and that is that, because it's a specialized product. That is one. Number two, in terms of what the unique selling point, and if you had me earlier, this is not, the unique selling point is that, yes, we have various products in the market, children education fund, children insurance, and all that. This is unique to the extent that it puts together all the needs. I said earlier, you could see your child and you see the trajectory and say, because of what he's doing, maybe he loves to, be in business and all that. You can see his agility and all. There's nothing that says that you cannot think forward. It's like it helps the parents to think forward by each of the children. So you could have 5 children now, and you want to have this investment. For number 1, you could have this investment because of health. For number 2, it could be for education. For number 3, it could be for maybe a seed, something. So the beauty is that it's not confined into just one thing. It gives you the latitude and the platform to think outside the box as per your intention and your plan for your children. So, which again is different from, having that. And I said, even when we were discussing this, part of what we consider earlier was, can we have another children investment fund? But we know we have a lot of children investment fund in the public domain as we speak today. And we decided, well, rather than going that route, let's go investment. So that I give the parent the latitude to decide whatsoever they want across the breadth of their children. And I think it is major. Have I answered your question? Thank you.
Okay, perfect. So just to clarify to everyone, you can actually invest in tranches of 1 million naira. Okay, so let's just clarify that, because we got a lot of questions about that online as well. So now we all know. Dr. Odiri, do you want to add anything to that? Oh, good. Okay. And everyone, please remember that we have other funds. So you can actually build up your funds. You can actually build up your funds to reach the amount you want to enter the United Capital Children Investment Fund. We have a question here. Okay. So this person says that although this is an asset management event, they want to have some questions about the group as a whole. United Capital is a pillar in the industry. Everyone knows that. Can you speak to how your other business lines, such as investment banking, securities, trusteeship, and even the microfinance bank, have contributed to the group's overall performance and strategic growth in recent years? That's for you, Group Caesar.
Thank you so much. So we are into another investment and analyst call session. So for us, United Capital, each of our business lines, one thing is key: you cannot afford to be less than number 3. Top 3 has been our goal, and we have consistently, played that out. Significantly, all our business lines, even the last business on board, microfinance bank. The first year we made a loss of almost 230 something million naira loss. But as at the end of 2024, we turned profit. So we made 150 something million profit. So again, that underscores the fact that whereas I recall when we were discussing that some of the consultants that we met and say, this business you want to go into, don't expect profit in the next 5 years. There are data that speaks to that. So if you are still making losses, just take it that is one of the. But the second year, we turn around. Each of our businesses, as we speak today, are contributing significantly to the progress. And that is why you see from, 5 years ago, all our total, 6 years ago, total profitability for the group was around 4 billion naira. As at the end of last year, we did 40 billion. So so that again, when you look at it, it is the contribution of each of the business lines that makes this. And we are still growing. And when you see now we have a regional integration intent that we are currently implementing. And we believe strongly that the same way we have added value in Nigeria, we're going to add value at each point that we are. So for each of the businesses, I can say clearly that the performance and the contribution to the overall profitability and the growth and the achievement of the set objective is quite commendable.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, we have another question. The gentleman at the back, please.
Good morning. My name is Barnabas Esed. I work for New Shelf. I want you to shed more light on the tranche. For instance, I have $1 million and the first time, and then another $1 million. At the end of 365 days, I can't meet up. What happens? What's my position?
Dr. Odiri.
Interesting question. All right, so the minimum approved amount is 5 million, but we encourage people to start investing with 1 million. So you bring in your first 1 million, the second one doesn't have to be 1 million. Additional could be as little as 10,000 naira. But the goal for us is that we want you to build it up to 5 million. It's a children investment fund. It's also aspirational, because you know that this is a target for my child. You are more eager, more determined, to continue to build it up. So we encourage you, put that first 1 million, start with anything you have. Even when you get to 365 days, it's not up to 5 million. Just keep adding. You can keep adding as little as 10,000 every week. Trust me, by the time you do 10,000 every week, you will get to 5 million, by the end of the first year. But more importantly, also, you know that you're owing your child 5 million naira. So rather than spending that additional money, you will top it up, and you will get to that 5 million. Thank you.
Very well said. Lucy, do you want to add anything to that?
Well, nothing really, but just to say that today, yes, it's about the mindset. It's about the mindset. If you address your mind to the fact that you want to do this, 1 million, these are things. It's about shifting your position away from some things that they are frivolous today that you just feel you give as your child. And again, I think part of the thing that I want to underscore that is even when you start, it's good for your children to be aware of this. So that because it's not only about just saving it in the secret for them, but giving them an insight. It's about developing the saving culture. Because tomorrow they are children. Today they are children, tomorrow they'll be parents. And the way you have christened them and take care of them to that, they tend to replicate it. So that by the time they grow older too, and they have their own children, they will remember. At a point in time, I recall growing up, my father would always take me to the bank whenever, and I formed an opinion about my career that I want to be a banker. One of these days, I took me to the bank. And I saw how gaily dressed, but even in the afternoon, they are looking sparkling. I said, come, I must be one of them. And today, a reality. So it's good. It's not only that you invest, you carry them along. Let them know you have an investment for them, and this is it. Something and all those things, because we want to encourage as many parents as possible to develop the investment culture in our children. That is a significant thing that is missing today. Youth today prefer to do, we are not running anything down, doing some other things than do investment. Whereas investment takes care of the future today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Very well said, sir. Can we give me a round of applause for that answer, for starters? Okay. All right, we have one more question. Okay.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Chamon Dabeng. I'm with News Central. With all this talk about capital markets and equities, I'm a little curious as to what the risk analysis is for this particular investment. How susceptible is this to market forces? And I'm also curious about the amount of time that I can allow the investment fund to mature. Is this something I can leave to grow for the next 20 years so it plays out as an investment, a trust fund for my child's future? So I'd like to know that, please.
Thank you for that question.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that question. So in terms of risk analysis, we said we've established that the fund invests in equities, money market, and fixed income securities. Now we all know that equity has some level of risk and volatility, and which is why the portfolio is not skewed towards equities. We've created that balance with fixed income. Fixed income gives a more stable, return, but also stabilizes the portfolio, just so that at the end of the day, we're not looking at a high-risk investment fund. We are looking at a moderate to low-risk investment fund, because even while there is equity in it, but there is a stabilizer, which is a fixed income fund and the money market fund. So at the end of the day, you are not likely, given the outlook of the market, to begin to have negative, return on your portfolio, because there is a stabilizer and there is a minimum floor to which the fund is invested in. Now, the second question, number of years. So the minimum holding period doesn't limit the number of years. This is a fund that you leave to perpetuity. It's a fund that you leave as long as United Capital has been in existence for 60 years. Our first mutual funds, money market fund, balance fund, equity fund, and fixed income fund, were launched in 2006, which is roughly almost 20 years now. So yes, you can leave that fund for as long as 20, 30 years, and the beauty of the mutual fund structure is that it's not tied to the entity. We are the fund manager. God forbid, if tomorrow we say we are not in existence today, the SEC can take the fund has a life of its own, take it and give it to, and manage it in another structure. So yes, the nature of the fund, which is why we are very particular about the mutual fund structure, because it can outlive us as a fund manager, it can outlive us as an institution. So be rest assured that you can keep the fund for as long as ever. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give everyone a round of applause, please. So we've taken our very last question. I want to say thank you to everyone who asked questions. And just as a summary, everyone, I want to pull out something that the group CEO had said, that everything we're discussing here is based on mindset. It's all about your mindset. This isn't one of those funds where you're just chasing returns. You have to remember who you're doing this for, what you're doing this for. There's something that I always say, the billionaires of the world, the Jeff Bezos and even Donald Trump and Elon Musk, they all got funding for their parents. There's no shame in getting funding from your parents, you understand? So this is what this fund is doing. It's giving their children that financial head starts, so that they don't have to hustle too much like a couple of us here did. So thank you very much, everyone. Please give a round of applause again for our management team. Thank you. So I'm going to call on United Capital COO and Executive Director, Mr. Ayodeji Adigun, to give the closing remarks. Right after, we will take photos. Thank you very much, sir. Please clap for him, please. Thank you very much.
Yes, you can see me walking briskly. I was trying to mimic my GCU. That is exactly what he did. Yes, the time is far spent. My purpose here is just to thank you for your wonderful support so far. But let me take it systematically. As we draw the special occasion to a close, let me thank everybody to start with for your time, especially today, that is very, very critical for everybody. But let's start from those who made these products happen. That is United Capital Asset Management Investment Committee members. We thank you very much for your leadership and commitment. It is their brainchild. Probably without the product, we won't come here today. But we cannot underplay the role of our regulators who have been well represented here, the Security and Exchange Commission. We deeply appreciate your regulatory oversight and continued support. Now to the parties of the fund. The custodian to the fund, the trustees, the registrars, the solicitors, the auditors, they were all well represented. I don't think we missed any one of them. We thank you profusely for your professionalism, for your diligence, and your partnership in bringing this fund to life. Now, let me look more inward. For the first time, I'm seeing virtually all our CEOs, the CEOs of our various businesses. Most of the time, even though we are in the same building, we hardly see each other. They are all holed up doing one thing or the other. But this launch has actually compelled everybody to be here. The few people who are not here are probably on training or on vacation. I want to seize this opportunity to thank you profusely for your continued support, and which you have demonstrated amply by your presence here. Still looking inward, let me actually thank members of our larger group, Hess Holdings. They have also been well represented here. We continue to thank you for your support and oversight function which you have been doing over the years. Let me also thank some category of people who have actually brought life into this discussion. The press. I won't deceive you, you've done very, very well. Insightful questions. And I'm sure that we'll go back and make sure that we fill in all the gaps that you've highlighted. And most especially when we are actually mobilizing for customers for these products. These are issues that we are going to clarify and amplify. At this juncture, let me round up by saying that your presence here, every one of us, has made this launch even more meaningful. Together, we have taken an important step forward towards securing a brighter financial future for the next generation. We thank you most profusely, and I wish everybody the best of luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. So I'm going to call on a few people so we can take a few pictures. First, the group CEO, Dr. Shade, and Dr. Oduri Ogini, the MD of United Capital Asset Management. Okay. Okay, Philippines, can you join them? Thank you. Okay, thank you, Philip. Next, we'll have the board executives join. Ayodeji Adigu, sir, please join Dr. Leo Kafo, Mr. Samu Wanze. Thank you. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Next up, we'll have the heads holding CEOs. Please join them for photographs, please. Ms. Catherine Rose. Thank you. Okay. United Capital Group CEOs, please get ready. Thank you. Thank you very much. Next, we have United Capital Group CEOs. Okay. Next up, we'll have United Capital Exco. United Capital Exco, please join. Thank you. Should we take this in tranches? Yes. Okay. Sorry, one second. Thank you. So next up, we have the asset management business. These are the team that made this fund possible. So please, can you give them a round of applause? Thank you, everyone. Please, quickly, everyone. After this, we would have the parties to the fund. I don't think it's balanced. It doesn't. Okay, let's get the parties of the fund, please. Okay, our registrars, our trustees, custodians, please join us. Solicitors, thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, yes. Thank you, everyone, for coming. we've come to a close of the event. Please note, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for everyone who is here, who actually stayed to the end. This is one of the few events I've actually seen the seats still full to the end. So thank you very much for indulging us. We've come to the close, so thank you. Any other questions you may have, please let any one of us know or send an email to us as well. Please note that there are refreshments for everyone. We won't just bring you here to, just listen and not get refreshed. So please, we can go to the reception area and pick up your refreshments. Thank you very much, everyone. For press. Okay, members of the press, please note that you have a press pack outside as well. So please pick it up on your way out. Thank you very much.